Okay, now what if you and I had a time machine and we could go back in time and talk to our 10-year-old self, our 15-year-old self, our 30-year-old self, and give them some valuable lessons? What one thing would you teach yourself that could make the biggest difference in your life today? Maybe it would be something like compound interest. Say, look, when you're 15, just put the money aside and let it grow, and it will have a huge effect. I guarantee you there's something in your life and in mine that we can do today that would make the biggest impact in our lives for the future. So stay with me for the next few moments as we go into a time to own our life now. This is Fresh Air for Life. Let's go get it. Hey family, welcome back to another Fresh Air for Life. I'm Anthony D. Crawford out here in the South Florida fresh air with the birds chirping, the wind blowing, and God being good unto us. Now listen, I got something I want us to really get into on this day, and that is you and I owning our life. I'm talking about taking ownership of it. Now, if you have ever rented like an apartment or something before and owned a home before, you know the difference. When you're renting something and if something goes wrong, something breaks, what do? You contact the landlord. But when you own it, you can't contact the landlord because guess what? You are the landlord. You got to contact yourself. That means you are the one responsible for everything that's going on with the home, the success of the home, the well-being of the home. Well, when you own your life, it's your responsibility. Your success is. Listen, it's not even dependent upon God. God has already voted for your success. He's laid things out there for our success, but you got to own it and take the authority that He has given you and make the steps and the decisions necessary to see success come to pass in your life. Now listen, when you are going to be an owner of your life, that means the way you relate to God is different because ownership of your success is on you. You can't call someone and it's their responsibility. So that means when things go wrong, we're not calling God and God, come on, fix that for me. Yes, God is here for us. He loves us, but He's also given us authority. He's given us His grace. He's given us His love. He's given us His ability. He's given us His wisdom. He's given us everything so that we can make decisions that bring honor and glory to Him and that bring success to our lives. We are the owners. You have to own your life now. So I love the story about Nehemiah. It's in the Old Testament. Here it is. He's an individual who has a passion for his city and he wants to go back. He's really in exile and he wants to go, to his homeland that he's never been before because he found out, he heard the word that the walls were still busted, broken down, burned down. And he says, no, the city that God has given to us should not be that way. Well, he gets favor and he's able to go back. He amasses a great team and leads a great group of people, and they begin to rebuild the wall, and they do it. They rebuild the wall, they put the gates and the doors in, and they do it in record time. But understand something, they had to deal with some major opposition. There's this one individual, Sanballat, that he definitely did not want to see Nehemiah and the men finish the wall because it was going to affect his livelihood. It was going to affect his money. They weren't going to be able to come and go in the city like they used to. They lived outside of the city and they were making a lot of money. They were doing a lot of things. So he makes it his point to try to distract Nehemiah from the wall. And then I love it. We see this over here in Nehemiah in chapter 6, verse 3. He had sent certain messengers, to him, to Sanballat did, sent it to Nehemiah, trying to invite him to come meet with him in the land of Oh No. Ladies and gentlemen, if you ever get invited to the land of Oh No, just say oh no, because trust me when I tell you, the intention for you meeting in that place is for your demise and for your destruction. And Nehemiah recognized that. Nehemiah recognized that what Sanballat actually was intending was not just simply to meet with him, but he wanted to pull him off of the work that God had commissioned him to do. He wanted to stop him, and furthermore, he wanted to take his life. So I love how Nehemiah responds, and he responds to Sanballat messengers 4 times this same way. He says, listen, I am doing a great work and I cannot come down from this wall. I'm doing a great work on this wall and I cannot come down. Why should this work cease for me to come down and meet with you? That's how you need to respond to some people in your life. Like, look, I'm doing a great work right now with my marriage and in my family. I'm doing a great work right now raising my children. I can't do some of the things that maybe we used to do in time past. I got to finish my wall. So number one, you got to understand, what is your great work? What is your wall? What is it that God has placed on the inside of you? The passion that he's given you, what is it? And once you identify it, you go at it with all your heart and mind. Number two, then you got to have a dogmatic attitude that you will not allow anything or anyone to distract you or delay you from the completion of your wall. Your completion of that wall has a monumental impact in so many other lives. If you could only see the results of your obedience in this area, the results of you seeing this all the way through, it will not only be rewarding to you, it will bless an entire family, entire community, entire church, an entire nation in many cases. So you have to make sure that you know what your one thing is and that you resist, you reject, and you just all in all refuse any type of distractions. And you ought to have that same kind of heart and mindset, just like Nehemiah. I'm doing a great work and I cannot come down from this wall because I'm not going to let this work stop. So this is a day where I want you and I to own our life so that we can live the best life God has for us. This is Fresh Air for Life. Come on, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, leave some comments, and let's keep going further with God. Own your life and be blessed today.